Welcome in, folks. This is Caleb Tallman. I'm joined with Brandon Stevens. Brack Martin will jump in with us here in a few moments. Brack and I are over at Hayesville. Brandon Stevens is at the Swain versus Murphy game. Brandon, how you doing tonight?
Man, it feels good. This is a night for good, cool, crisp weather that we've been waiting. And here in I think some of the folks in Murphy would say this is the house of the rising sun, where the devils live. It's a good environment. Not too many people showing up, but it's still early on. We have 45 more minutes left to go. But all across the region, looks like some good football. It looks like going to be triple timing this week for some of our Smoky Mountain teams.
Yeah, we got 4 games tonight on our West North Carolina schedule as far as Team F-Line Sports goes that we'll be covering. Of course, Brack and I are live here in Hayesville. This game will be live on FYNTV.com. We will also be giving reports, of course, from your game, the Murphy at Swain. We got Franklin at West Henderson, and then we have Andrews at Robbinsville for our games tonight. And we encourage folks, make sure to check out the Team F-Line Sports Twitter account and Facebook account. Videos, updates, all kinds of good stuff will be up on that. I mean, I even keep it up on another tab of the computer while we're streaming games because that's how I get score updates during my games. But let's dig into the games a little bit. We'll start off with one that should be pretty lopsided, Brandon, is Franklin at West Henderson. Franklin's coming off a tough loss to Smoky Mountain, and they finished their year with West Henderson and T.C. Robertson, 2 games that they should be able to win and maybe push them back on the right side of things come playoff time. Do you have any thoughts on that game, Brandon?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the way that the numbers and the averages look. That's going to be a passing game almost. When you look at, I think his name is Cachillo, the quarterback from West Henderson. You know, he rifles it out there. He's averaging a few more yards than McGuire. But once again, it makes mistake-free football games, and the numbers also don't show too much on the rushing. I'm looking for this one to air out quite a bit. If you can connect the passes, keep the INTs down, then I think whoever can pass that one well, that might be the crux there. That might be the fulcrum of who balances in this football game.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things is if you're Franklin, you're still inside the top, 15, 16 teams. I think last I looked in the RPI, they were, 10 or 11, somewhere in that area. So if you win your last 2 games, I'd say you've got a pretty safe shot at still hosting your first round playoff game. And I don't care who you're playing. I know they've picked up a couple losses this year, but can you imagine a game inside the Panther pit in Franklin? And no first round opponent wants to come play there, no matter how talented they are. So if you're Franklin, yeah, your chances of a conference championship have gone by. But if you find a way to win your last 2 games, you're going to have a really good shot at still hosting 1, if not 2 playoff games, depending on how the brackets play out. So if you're Franklin, try to get back on the right side of things. You should be able to outmatch West Henderson. And also, when you think about it, Brandon, we saw Franklin absolutely handed it, both Murphy and Hayesville this year, as well as Swain. And so, obviously they're a talented bunch. They got to get some confidence back. And I think that's what these last 2 games can do for them.
I think you're absolutely right. To go out 7-3 and 4-3, and then it just kind of balances there whether you get your first playoff games at home or away. I've watched and broadcast too many games over in the Panther Pit. It's about as mysterious as playing here at Memorial Stadium. You don't want to play there. And that's what Franklin wants to pull in is, in addition to the prowess, like you mentioned, they have awesome abilities in McGuire. I still like watching him. He did a number on us from the Murphy perspective and the Hazen perspective. But, add that in and the fans, and that's a tough place to play. So, you want to have that home advantage. And that'll put them in a maybe spot, I'd say. Probably if they can maybe rise up to 3rd in the conference or 4th, depending on how the rest of the games play out. But absolutely.
Well, that's one of the things we're seeing. We'll see it in the 2A, 3A, 4A level as well as our 1A level, Brandon, is, that number 1 team in your conference is guaranteed one of the number 1, top 7 or 8 seeds. But, Franklin's in the position because they did so well early in the conference that even if they come in 4th, they may find themselves in a higher seeded position than teams they lost to. And that's one of the things about RPI, right or wrong. That's what we're rolling with. But let's go ahead and move on to our second game we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the Robbinsville-Andrews game. Andrews is traveling to Robbinsville. The Black Knights are coming off I'm not going to call it a huge upset, but it was an upset based on the spread. But regardless of however you look at it, it was a huge win. I mean, just a monumental win for that program that a lot of people were counting them out this year. And then you've got Andrew, who's on the opposite side of it, and has lost 2 in a row after starting the season undefeated. And starting the season undefeated, they dropped 2 straight. And so if you're Andrews, you're trying to find a way to get back to your early season path when you had a really good start to the year, and a lot of people thought, wow, I mean, at one point, I know it came out of Jake West's mouth and we thought they may be the conference favorite, and they've dropped 2 straight. What are your thoughts on that Andrews at Robbinsville game, Brandon?
Well, kind of contrary to what I was saying about the Franklin West Henderson football game, this one's going to be a game of rush. It's going to be a ground game, and that's one thing that probably Robbinsville, if you look at it, I love Cody Klein. I said some really cool things about him this week. I was really impressed with his ability to kick, but three field goals, that's missed opportunities in some cases for Robbinsville. So they had to go in and charge in and build up their run, but that's the part of the Andrews problem is that there's no pass, or it's not the greatest passing game. So this is going to be counters and dives and traps and sweeps and jets and that sort of thing. We did see some pass come out of Gross last week, but the big thing here is they've got to mobilize. And I like Cage Williams, the fact that he was running well, but this one, whoever can establish that run game, that's going to be the winner this evening. The other part of it is if Robbinsville's defense can just stop the run, that will stifle Andrews a bit, unless they can find some way to air it out. That's some of my thoughts there on it. Just looking at that, but still, well, within looking at how things are working, the numbers show more of a rush game than a pass game, and things otherwise. I think the medicine here is that Robbinsville did have that win over Murphy. And man, what a spiritual boost that is to go into a game where, it's, again, a team that's mysterious like Andrews. They started out undefeated to about the 6th game of the season, and everybody's kind of wondering what the heck they put in the water out in Andrews. So Robbinsville needed that boost to get through the Andrews game. So, if it's being played up in Robbinsville, so I would give a little push or a little nudge to say that the momentum is probably going to be under the big oaks for the Black Knights.
Yeah, and one of the things, and I know you know some Robbinsville folks, Brandon, so maybe you might have some inside information. I've heard the rumors that Cutler Adams may make an appearance this week, that he may be back. And if you give me Cutler Adams for Robbinsville, and I take one big over Andrews. If no Cutler, I think then it could be a closer game. Do you have any insight as to Cutler's ability tonight?
See this? I think the folks in Robbinsville are kind of like taking out the coins and tossing and saying, heads, no Cutler, tails, Cutler. Yeah, I've heard different things, but I've heard that he's working to get back specifically here to finish out the season from some of the rumors. I have no direct info on that, but you probably want to get back into the uniform. I would almost guess being in front of the home fans there and riding on some of the energy, you might see a Cutler Adams, and he's still got the numbers. I guess it's just a matter of we look at we couldn't look at last week's film because he didn't play, so we don't know how he was moving. But I imagine young guy with a lot of grit. Those Robbinsville folks, they play through every bit of pain and sickness that they possibly can. I wouldn't be surprised to see him. But there was a little bit of rumor floating around from some of the folks I know that say, we're probably going to see Cutler Adams. So I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, and I'll just give my thoughts quickly. I mean, if you're Andrews, we've said this all year. You got to find a way to do something different than run the ball just on edge and in the middle. Isaac Weaver actually threw a pass last week in the wild. Maybe you do more of that. I mean, there's different things you're going to have to do to give your offense an opportunity to where Robbinsville just can't load the box. Because if Robbinsville loads the box with, Carlos Wesley up front and Carson White in the middle, playing D tackle, and Cage Williams is funneling downhill, I think it's going to be a long night for Andrews if they can't get. But on the same note, is if you can find a way to just get hit 3 or 4 passes early, maybe in the first half, and all of a sudden you then put Robbinsville on their heels, and then your run game can get back to where it was at the beginning of the year. So I think that's really what's going to be key for Andrews. We know what Robbinsville's going to do. They're going to run the ball, and Davidson is starting to prove himself that he can throw it well enough, and especially, he came up really clutch last week and made the plays he needed to get Cody Klein into field goal range. So, good game.
That was it. And I'd have to say probably that last field goal, all you had to do is just get power down enough, maybe a bubble screen here, a nice run here or there, but you just had to get Cody within 40 to 45 yards of the field goal. And I have to say something because I got a little flack this week. I said, one of the headlines I wrote said, hey, Robbinsville uses a chip shot to, win the game, but 45 yards to me was like a chip shot because that kid can probably kick back 60 plus yards. So that distance was like small and short. So
I think you got to give Cody Klein credit. He's always had the leg, and this year he's starting to find the accuracy. And if he can be consistently accurate, he's got a leg that maybe he could go join Yusuf Mugerbill and kick down at Florida or something, because he definitely has that kind of leg strength. But hey, Brandon, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we will talk about the game me and Brack are at here in Hayesville, the Cherokee Hayesville game, and then of course our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week, Swain Murphy. So stick around, folks. We're going to take a quick break. Caleb Palmer for Brandon Stevens. This is the Team FYN Sports Western North Carolina pregame show.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the Endless Aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
Hey girl, back so soon?
Yeah.
3rd time this morning.
Feeling too familiar with the bathroom these days? It's not just you.
Hey girl, look who made it 15 minutes.
At Erlanger Urology, we make it easy to talk about overactive bladder and treatments that work.
Hey girl, you not coming in?
No, I'm good.
Well, okay, I'll be here, because I'm stuck.
Learn more at itsnotjustyou.com. Erlanger Urology.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
ReallyCheapFloors.com is your place to shop for quality flooring at an affordable price.
You can find our first quality Appalachian solid hardwood 3¼ inch wide planks in maple gray stone at $3.49 per square foot. Our cabin grade engineered Hillshire hardwood offers 5-inch wide planks at 89 cents per square foot. And our first quality luxury vinyl plank Hazel Creek Core-Tech waterproof flooring starts at $2.39 per square foot. We have retail locations in Murphy, North Carolina, Dalton, Georgia, and Orlando, Florida. Give us a call at 1-800-253-2728.
Caleb Tallman, Brad Martin, and Brandon Stevens back with you for the TF Lions Sports West North Carolina pregame show. We do apologize. Me and Brandon both being at the game. You're getting some background noise just from the PA guys and such. But we got 2 more games to talk about. First, we'll save your game for last. But we also have the game Brack and I are at. I'll go to Brack first. This Hayesville Cherokee game. I do want to make one note. I talked to some Cherokee folks pregame, and I also was taking a look down the field. Number 8, Chase Calhoun's not playing tonight. At least he's not right now. I mean, he said he's got a bum ankle. He's pretty bruised up. Trying to get him healthy for next week and for playoffs. But if you're a Yellow Jacket fan looking to pull off an upset, Cherokee being without their leading rushers of the team, obviously a big deal. But Brack, what are your thoughts on the first game?
I think the big thing for Hayesville is going to be limiting turnovers. They're going to have to play disciplined football. Here lately, we haven't really seen any quarters of football from Hayesville. To start the game off, they're really the team, but towards that second half, they just kind of fall apart. So I think a big key for them is putting a complete game together, limiting turnovers. For Cherokee, I think they just got to come and do what they've been doing. They got to take care of the ball, not take a Hayesville team that's not have the best record, and take them lightly, and they got to come out here and they really got to play a good ball game.
Your thoughts, Brandon?
Well, I think here the key is taking care of the ball, because in the last football game, Cherokee coming around had a series of turnovers. All right, so you have Calhoun out this evening. That's huge, but the big thing, the big asset that Cherokee has is Donald Bradley. If he can't get it on a pass, he can't get it to hand it off on a run, he'll make it happen. That's the bigger piece with him. So watch that, and if he takes care of the ball and does things the way he should, he'll make things work. So just escaping like a 12-9 football game, a 1-point football game with Murphy. I mean, he held the Cherokee Braves in with him, but I think that's going to be the key there. Otherwise, you're going to have to watch some of the bigger linemen there. Bernheisel will give you a lot of problems trying to run any kind of counters, traps, and dives. You'll also see Elijah Waddy. He's another one of the leading tacklers for the Cherokee Braves. But still, bigger guys on the other side. McClure, I'm curious to what you guys are thinking now. Like you're seeing the presence of Jake McTaggart back and what the contributions are, because that was one thing that was missing in the Hayesville Murphy game, and going into later stanzas of the season. What's the contribution there? Because from the sounds of it, that lit up the Christmas tree a little bit for Hayesville.
Yeah, and one of the things, here's what I'll say too, is as crazy as it sounds, one of the biggest things Jake McTaggart gives you is what he gives everybody else, because you have to game plan around him. Obviously he's going to make plays, but not only that, when you have so much attention on him, that opens it up for Taylor McLaurin, Kyle Lunsford, Isaac Chandler, and Logan Caldwell. Is Logan Caldwell more comfortable? Because in the games that Logan's had to play without Jake here recent, he struggled. I mean, that's the thing, and that's my thing in tonight's game. You talked about turnovers, stopping the run, all those good things. And it's a tall order, but I think the abilities there is, I really think what you're going to see tonight is a team that has better quarterback play is going to win. And so if you get the Logan Caldwell that threw for 390 yards, give or take, against Tuscola, I mean, can he get back to where he was there? Or if you've got the Don Bradley that's just out there like he has been every week, making game-winning plays, it really could come down to that. And I think that you're going to see Caldwell, especially if we tag back, play a lot better tonight. But we'll get into our last game, which is the game you're at, Brandon. So to start us off, tell us about Swain Murphy. I talked to our sports director, Jake West, today, and he said the rumor on the streets is Murphy's got some linemen out. And if Murphy's got some linemen out, Swain's got a tough line to deal with. Tell us what you know, Brandon.
Well, so what we know, and yeah, we're gonna have some trouble on the line a bit, and that's going to run into some of the plays, because once again, what is Swain County? Swain County is a veer offense, so they're running it right at you, hitting the holes there. So the linemen are going to be critical in this football game. But when you've got Mason Thrasher in a boot, when you've got a possibility that Joe Swain is got a shoulder or a collarbone injury, he may or may not play. He's a little questionable, but we heard from coach this week that said, yeah, we think Joe's going to be here. And then I think there, once again, you've got, I'm trying to remember the other lineman that's out, but what's happening is you're going to see probably Briggs Cornwell coming from tight end position and playing at guard. You'll probably move some other people there to pick up because once again we don't utilize the tight end, and Briggs has got the girth to lead the charge in the line. Otherwise, I think here this is going to be a physical football game, and when you've got folks coming in like Carson Taylor, Joshua Collins, those guys are big runners. But I think if we're looking for a pass, probably Cooper Hyatt's going to be your deep guy. Little screens and bubbles and jets. Groenwald is going to be the guy. But the big key here is just like what we were talking about in the Cherokee-Hazel game. If the quarterback takes care of the football, that's Gabe Willard. He's done some really good stuff, but he's also got his fair share of interceptions and fumbles, and that's going to be key. Turn it around the other way. Murphy Bulldogs are going to see a big front line. And I would almost see that we might air out some things a little bit this week to get it up the field, because the run game is going to be it's always tough. It's always tough to run here, and this is one of those places where you use the pass to open up the run a little bit.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll say too, just from my thoughts, is if you're Murphy, you've got to limit the Swain big play. That is where Swain has lived big this year. I would almost guarantee that if you look at Swain's offensive possessions this year, they've not had very many scoring possessions of over 10 or 15 plays. Usually when they score, somewhere in that possession was a 30, 40, 50-yard play, whether it's a Willard run or a deep long pass to Groenwald. And so if you're Murphy, try to limit some of these really long plays to just, instead of letting it be a 30-yarder, limit it to 10 yards and make Swain beat you a few yards at a time. Unless something changes, Swain does a really good job taking care of the ball. As we wrap up, you got any closing thoughts, Brandon?
Well, just on this one, the bigger piece here is the damage coming out, or the pathology, or the injury part to Murphy from last week's Robbinsville game was just a big downer. And part of that was some miscues. A lot of the things in that game were correctable. We talked to Kellen Rumfeld. We talked to Briggs Corner and others this week and said, did you fix things? Are you playing more unified? They're like, yeah, because we only have 2 games left, and we've got to get good position in playoffs. So kind of a unifying sound. So I was happy to hear that. But, yeah, you can see coming in behind me, game's getting ready to start. So I got to go get some popcorn and a hot dog and all that good stuff.
Well, hey, I appreciate you joining us, Brandon. Hey, folks, make sure to stick around. Check me and Brack's game out live on FYNTV.com. And Brandon will be rejoining us for the Western North Carolina postgame show. You have been watching the Team FLIN Sports Western North Carolina pregame show. Caleb Tallman for Brack Martin and Brandon Stevens. Have a great night of football, guys.
See ya.